So Marilyn, if someone wants to really speed up the building process and they don't want to go through the lengthy hand-built process of doing something from scratch, what can they do about that? What are their options?
There's a lot of prefab buildings and kits and modular home. There's yurts.
Like Tibetan yurts?
Well, like Mongolian yurts.
Mongolian yurts.
But there's, the Americanized version that's insulated and has fireplaces inside of it and skylights and doors and windows and decks all around them. And there's some really fancy teepees that are made now.
Wow.
And then there's the good old geodesic dome that Buckminster Fuller started, and there's as many dome companies as there are yurt companies.
Okay.
And so it's a panelized thing made out of lots of triangles. And then they put doors and windows in them, and you can pick what diameter you want. There's a whole series of panelized homes where they build in a giant warehouse the traditional stud wall, and they nail the plywood on it, and they actually pre-put the door in it and the window in it, and they stack all these pre-made but custom-made for you panels on the truck, and then when they get to the site, you still have to have your contractor pour the foundation, but then the building goes together real fast. And some of them make rectangular panelized homes, and then there's some companies that make these beautiful, I'm going to say roundish homes, because they're made out of a series of straight lines. So with every increasing larger standard diameter that you get, it has more sides to it.
Okay.
And they're usually all modules of plywood, so each side is like 8 feet long. And then they have a pretty standardized kind of trussed roof, and they're actually very pretty. And so a lot of these companies are trying to be green, but to my satisfaction, they're still made with plywood with lesser toxic glue. But lesser toxic means it's still toxic. But anyway, you can pick all your eco finishes in these houses, and you can use your eco cotton insulation, your soy insulation, your spray cellulose. You don't have to use the phenol formaldehyde fiberglass insulation. So if you go under the mode that all shades of good are green, like you can get like an almost pretty really good greenhouse out of that. There's so many choices, it's hard to memorize, so you have to forgive me for looking at my paper list, but on my website it's all there, and basically you reduce the time period by building your building by 6 to 8 months.
Really? Wow, so if someone's in a time crunch or they've got a really tight deadline, just want to speed up the process, they've got a ton of great options then.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and it's project specific, because like you might be able to put your whole building together in 2 weeks, boom, right? But if you have a more like ambitious hybrid thing, it might still take several months, but a lot of homes can take 8 to 18 months to build, like if you're doing a custom home and juggling all the trades from start to finish. So this lowers carrying costs for people on mortgages, and if you just like need housing right now, there's a lot of choices. You can still have a green home and put it together, and you have shelter.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you.